Tawanchai is the next generation of Muay Thai superstars and the current featherweight champion of 1FC. He's known for kicks so powerful, he breaks people, like literally breaks people. And powerful hands that dropped Superbond in their last fight. Which I don't know about you, but that shit was pretty crazy. So I'm about to give you a workout routine that is going to help you develop power like Tawanchai. Tawanchai? I'm really bad at pronouncing that, I'm sorry. If you don't know me, my name is Coach Andrew. I am a former UFC gym coach and an online coach for fighters, helping you get stronger and fight longer, baby. So before we go on, I want to give a big shout out to Coach Leroy. Follow him on I am Coach Leroy. Let me check my notes. Yep, that's correct. Follow him on Instagram. His stuff is fantastic. And you'll be able to find a whole bunch of Tawanchai's training on there, on top of other athletes that he trains, and just some really great knowledge. Give the guy a follow, he's great. I'll wait here. All right, sweet, let's go. So the first thing that we're going to dive into are some contrast supersets. If you've seen some of my other videos, you know, big fan of those. If you go to Coach Leroy's Instagram, you also know, big fan of those. Cause they're fucking awesome. But if you don't know what they are, let me give you the rundown. Basically, it's a movement pattern done with a really heavy load and then immediately followed by an exercise of a similar movement pattern, but done light but explosively. We're gonna sort of play on one of the most basic and general lower body contrast supersets that you could do. So we're gonna start off with some heavy barbell squats. You can't beat squats. Squats are just too good. If you're trying to get strong, you should be doing squats. There is no exception, none. So you're gonna load that barbell, you're gonna go as heavy as you can for 4 to 6 reps. And straight after those squats, like no break at all, we're gonna go straight into some split stance box jumps. Now I'm normally a fan of just regular box jumps, but I have been seeing Tawanchai and some other athletes do these split stance box jumps, and I'll post a clip here. It's basically, you get 2 boxes, one in front of you, one behind you, where you jump up, you like catch yourself on both sides, almost like in a lunge position. We're gonna alternate between right leg and left leg, and you're gonna do 6 to 8 reps, which is 3 to 4 reps on each side, as explosively as possible. If you see Tawanchai here, he almost makes it look too easy. It's actually not fair. If you find that these split stance box jumps are a bit too technical, or you don't have the space for them, regular box jumps are just fine. But split stance stuff is actually super good for any kind of combat sports. So if you can, do it. If not, that's fine. So you're gonna rest for 2 minutes and you're gonna do 3 sets of those. And what this is gonna do is it's gonna develop some crazy lower body strength and explosive power, the ability to translate that strength into power. We wanna kick people so hard that we don't care if they're blocking. You're blocking that kick with your arm? I don't give a fuck, I'm breaking your arm. That's the goal. So now we need to cover Tawanchai's punching power and his capabilities. Now we're gonna start off with a dumbbell chest press. Now I know what you're thinking, with barbells, we can load it heavier. And I am not against that. I'm actually a big fan of that. But I'm thinking, and follow me along here, the dumbbells is gonna give us a little bit of, even though we're working like a bilateral movement, we're still getting that single side unilateral power, which is gonna translate to punching. But we're gonna go heavy. Like, these dumbbells have to be heavy. We once again, 4 to 6 reps. Like, you gotta be barely doing 4. That last rep's gotta be like, you know, like your arms shaking, like, am I coming out of this alive? Like one of those ones. And then after that, we're gonna go over to an exercise that Coach Leroy is a big fan of, and I haven't done personally. I've done plyometric push-ups before, but he's got a setup here, which I'll show right here, where he has Tawanchai do it on a band. So the band is placed on like the lower part of a squat rack. So it's really training your body to, like, it's forcing you to spring up from those push-ups. So you go down nice and low and you're gonna spring up, boom. And you're gonna do 6 to 8 of those bad boys as fast and as explosively as possible. Once again, 2 minute rest and 3 sets of those. And that's gonna help you get some of that power that Tawanchai had when he knocked Superbond the fuck out. Which hurts my heart, because I love Superbond. He's like one of the GOATs. But I also like Tawanchai. You know, like, how could you not? Yeah, just how? So the next superset we're gonna do is not a contrast superset. This is more of just like an upper lower superset, just to kind of get firing some of the movement patterns we haven't hit yet. Now, when it comes to Muay Thai, I am a massive fan of chin-ups. And I know what you're thinking, pull-ups are the #1 back exercise, blah, blah, blah. But chin-ups are fantastic for Muay Thai because of the way that your arms are positioned. You either have arms supinated facing towards you, or some machines or some grips allow your arms to be in a neutral position. And if you can, neutral position is better, just because it simulates a single collar tie or a plum tie, like a Muay Thai clinch, right? So that's what we're trying to emulate. We're trying to get that strength in this position so that if we get them in their clinch, they ain't getting the fuck out. So you're gonna hit 6 to 8 of those bad boys. Now, if you can't get the whole set of chin-ups, there are a few options that we could do. You could use the sister machines. I'm not against that, but you've got to make sure that it's difficult enough that you're still getting barely that 6 to 8 reps. You could do it in some kind of like cluster set fashion. Just do as many of those 6 to 8 chin-ups that you could do, have a break for 10 to 15 seconds, and then finish the set. If they're too easy, chuck some weight on that bad boy. Now, as soon as you've done those chin-ups, you're going to go over and do some kettlebell swings and grab a kettlebell, grab a heavy as fuck kettlebell, and I want 8 to 12 swings. Remember, with the kettlebell swings, we're not doing this like a little squat and shoulder raise or whatever people do in gyms. I want to see hip flexion. It is a hip movement. I want you to feed it through your legs, and I want you almost like you're making sweet love. You want to like thrust with your hips as hard as you can. Imagine that you're holding the kettlebell here and you're trying to hump the kettlebell so hard that it's going to get pregnant. All right, that's what we want. We want a pregnant kettlebell. Little kettlebell babies, that's the plan. If only I could multiply my kettlebells that way, I would save so much money. But yeah, once again, 8 to 12 of those. We're gonna rest for only 90 seconds of these ones. Because it is an upper lower superset, we're not hitting the same muscles repeatedly, so we don't need as much rest. If you're finding that 90 seconds is a little bit too long, you could squeeze it down to 60, but I think 90 is fine. 3 sets of those bad boys. That's gonna help you get strong in the clinch. That's gonna get explosive hips for the kicks. Now, to help with the clinch, to help with your punching power, we're gonna add a new favorite exercise of mine, landmine rotations. Coach Leroy loves them. I've been doing them quite a bit lately. Big fan. Basically, you're gonna get a landmine, which is a barbell, it's like stuck in the corner of a room, and you're going to hold it and work on your rotational power. Now, the idea is we want to turn as little of our hips as possible, but we're trying to turn our core as much as we can, and really like keep your arms straight and just push it up, and you're really gonna feel your core push the weight up. You don't want to keep it tight like this. We're not doing whatever that is. We're not doing that. The further our arms are away from our body, the further the weight is away from our center, the harder our core has to work. That's the general consensus in most of other exercises. But I want these heavy. All right, we're gonna do 8 to 10 each side. But we're only gonna rest for 60 seconds in this one. And let me tell you, if you load that bad boy, that 60 seconds is not gonna feel like enough. But that's the point. 3 sets of those, and then we hit the grand finale, the cardio, the conditioning piece. I have a lot of clients that don't like the conditioning piece because it's hard. Conditioning's hard. Cardio, it's brutal. And the worst part is, I feel like the better you get at cardio, the harder it is, you know, because then you just push the pace more. Like it doesn't really get easier the better you get at it. We're gonna do assault bike intervals. We're not just doing any high interval, we are doing Tabata intervals. Now, basically what this is this is gonna be 20 seconds at the highest intensity possible. I want 100% of everything you got. And then after that 20 seconds, you're going to do an active recovery for 10, right? 10 seconds at about 30%. And you're going to repeat that for 8 sets. So it's gonna be 4 minutes, but it's gonna be 4 minutes of absolute hell. It's gonna suck, but let me tell you, it is going to give you an insane boost to your conditioning. Your fight cardio is gonna skyrocket. If you're feeling really spicy with that, you could do that 4 minutes. You could do the 20 on, 10 off for 4 minutes. Then you could rest for 2 minutes and run it again. Now that is for the brave. That is for the superstars out there. But let me tell you, just see how you go first. I mean, look, the option to go again is there, but if you do, make sure you rest. Very, very important. So there you have it, guys. That is a workout that is going to help you train like Tawanchai. A lot of the principles that Coach Leroy gives to not just Tawanchai, but a lot of his athletes. Some really, really great stuff. Once again, I urge you to go follow him at I am Coach Leroy on Instagram. And this week, we also got an announcement that Tawanchai is actually challenging for the kickboxing championship. He's going for that double champ status. oh, I want nothing more from my boy. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Subscribe for some more goodness. So far this year, I've been pumping out content every single week. I'm gonna keep the ball rolling. So if you wanna suss out some more content, YouTube's gonna recommend this bad boy over here. I'll see you for the next one.